Right, well, what I want to talk about today is the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 and the way they handle audio. And the reason I want to talk about this is because recently we've seen the release of Microsoft's new Xbox wireless headset, and you can see there's an article about it here. And in the article, they mention this. Just highlight it. It says the new Xbox wireless headset comes with a free 6-month trial of Dolby Atmos as long as it's purchased before a certain date. Now, I don't like them doing that. It should be available for, certainly a decent amount of time. But, you're getting it for free in the box. And that's not bad. I mean, when you actually have to pay for it, let me see if I can find what it says here. Have they got the price? Yeah, $15. It's about 15 quid as well, slightly less, I think. But it's about $15. It's not a lot of money to buy it, so it's no big deal. But some people in the PlayStation camp, and I mean some people because, let's be honest, most PlayStation fans are sensible, but there's a few that aren't, as there are in all camps. But we got this, and, I don't mind a bit of messing about and having a laugh. But, we've got this here. It says Dolby Atmos it's good, but it can be better. And for free! Exactly my reaction. What this fails to appreciate, though, is that Dolby Atmos isn't the only way to listen to sound on the Xbox. And there's lots of different options on the Xbox. And if you compare what the Xbox does to what the PlayStation does, actually, this kind of falls flat on its face. And let's see what I mean. If we go into the PlayStation, we're in the PlayStation now. And if I go up to settings, and then we go down to sound, as you can see here, we've got audio output. So we go along to there. And at the moment, we're set to at 5.1 or 7.1, it says there. I should be set to 5.1. And then you can adjust speaker positions and all this kind of stuff. So that's all okay. And what are the options we've got? Well, I've got it set as Bitstream DTS at the moment. And you can have Bitstream Dolby or Linear PCM. So I'm just going to leave it on Bitstream for the time being because I'm actually outputting to a 5.1. Well, I think it's a 7.1 amp, but I've actually got 5.1 in terms of speakers. So that's what the PlayStation can do to your home cinema amp and what it can output to your home cinema amp. Now remember that because we're going to be having a look at what the Xbox can output to the home cinema amp in a minute. But for the time being, let's just have a look and see what the PlayStation can do in terms of what it outputs to headphones. So I'm going to plug in a pair of headphones. And as I plug them in, there you go. We see the output to headphones comes up. And it says enable 3D audio, which should be enabled by default. And then you've got adjust 3D audio profile. And you've got, it says the sound is played in 5 different heights. Select the one that you hear closest to ear level. Each person will hear 3D audio differently. I'll be honest with you, I didn't hear much difference. I don't know whether it's down to the headphones I'm using. I tried a couple of different pairs of headphones. I couldn't hear a great deal of difference. Nothing that is particularly noticeable in any way that would make a great deal of difference to your experience, put it that way. So, yeah, I mean, that's okay. It's nice to have the options. But that's basically what you get in terms of the audio options on the PlayStation. So you've got, these 3D audio options. You've got your height level that you can change when you're using headphones. And that is about it. There's not a lot else you can do. If I press on that, it says, you can change it all audio or just chat audio. You wouldn't want to do that. But that's it. I mean, it's simple, it's straightforward, it's easy to use, but that's all you get. So let's just compare that to the Xbox and see what's available on there. Right, so it should load up the Xbox any second now. And there you go, we're in the Xbox. So now let's just go into the Xbox settings. I had settings up already there, but you would normally go along to here and hit settings. And then go down to volume and audio output. And now, if you look on here, we've got speaker audio output and headset audio. Now, you can change these regardless of whether you've got headset plugged into your Xbox or not. Obviously, it's not going to output to headphones if you've not got headset plugged in, but you can alter it. Now, in order to have Dolby Atmos for headphones, which I've got here, you are going to need to purchase that $15 license. So, it does cost you that 15 quid, which you don't have to do for 3D audio on the PlayStation. However, we've also got these other options: stereo uncompressed, Windows Sonic, which is 3D audio, which is free from Microsoft, Dolby Atmos, which obviously you have to pay for, and DTX Headphones X, which also you would have to pay for. But there's all these different options. And so you've got more options than you have on the PlayStation. And if you want surround audio on your headphones for free, you've got it with Windows Sonic for headphones. Now, whether Windows Sonic for headphones is better than Sony's 3D audio or vice versa, well, you'd have to experiment with that yourself. But I would suggest to you that if you're using Windows Sonic or you're using PlayStation's 3D audio, you're going to have a good experience either way. Personally, I prefer Dolby Atmos, so I use Dolby Atmos. The other thing as well is, and this is something that 3D audio can't currently do, is if you go into here, you can see this. We've got the same options that you had on the PlayStation 5. You've got the 5.1, you've got the 7.1, and then you've got the Bitstream, which is what I'm using. If you go into Bitstream, you've got digital surround sound, or DTS digital surround, Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, DTS X for home theatre. So you've got all these options. And Atmos for home theatre is fantastic if, like me, you've got a home theatre amp, because it's got height details. So it'll give you, when you've got rain, it'll give you that height effect. When you've got a plane going overhead, depending on how well it's set up and what speakers you're using, it'll give you height information, which Sony's 3D audio is also supposed to do, but that's not currently available on speakers. And so there aren't so many options on the PlayStation 5. I mean, this is not me being partisan here. This is just simply what you see on the screen. If you're looking at the Xbox options, there's far more options than there are on the PlayStation. It's as simple as that. And yes, you have to pay for Dolby Atmos for headphones. But as I said before, Windows Sonic doesn't cost you anything, and that will work just as well. And if you want, you can just go with stereo. And look, some people prefer stereo anyway. So, I mean, you pays your money and you takes your choice. But look, as I say, I'm not being partisan about this. I just think that if you look at it clearly, it's pretty obvious which platform has more options for audio, and whether one platform's going to sound better or another. I know I've said this already, but it's going to be a matter of personal taste to some extent. And certainly when you're using a home cinema system, the Xbox is going to sound better just because you've got Dolby Atmos. And 3D audio will not output to an amp at the moment. And so you're going to have to use something like Dolby Digital or DTS Surround. The two options, I can't remember what the two options were. Let's see if we can go back into the PlayStation. Will it load up again? Yeah, there you go. If we go into here, let's just go back to this. We've got Dolby or DTS. Those two options. It's as simple as that. And there's no Dolby Atmos. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, but you just have to look and you can see that the Xbox offers more options. And you have to wonder if Sony aren't trying to set up their own 3D audio option because they just didn't want to pay for the licenses for Dolby Atmos. Because you can bet bottom dollar that Microsoft have paid some money to Dolby to have these options on the Xbox. And it's worth having them. Seriously, if you've got a decent home cinema system, it's definitely worth having them. So the fanboys need to do one. Whether they're Xbox fanboys or PlayStation fanboys, I couldn't care less. But they need to go away and have a rethink. Because bottom line is, both of these systems are going to sound great. Both of these systems do sound great. I've got them both. When you're playing a game, it doesn't matter. They sound fantastic. It's a bit like the graphics argument. You know, really, how much is two blades of grass going to make a difference? As long as it sounds good, as long as it looks good, if the gameplay's good and the story's good and all the rest of it, then it's going to be fine. So all this infighting and all this bloody nonsense with this stuff, it's just what? I don't know. For me, I mean, you know, if it's a bit of fun, it's fine, but it has been getting silly. I said this in one of my previous videos. It's been getting silly lately. And I just wanted to call it out because it is an utter nonsense. And people just need to take a chill pill and stop getting so worked up about something that is so inconsequential, really. I mean, you know, I come from a time when we had the Commodore 64, for crying out loud, and we were going on about how the sound was good on that, you know, on the chip in there. What is it, the SID chip or whatever it was in the Commodore 64. You compare that to what we've got now. My God, things have moved on. So, guys, please, chill out. The Xbox sounds great. The PlayStation sounds great. Even the bloody Switch sounds pretty good, and that's not in the same league. But look, you know my point. Just stop it. Please, just stop it. Both systems are cool. Both systems are fun. Both systems have their problems, and they always will. And some things are better on one than another. But stop trying to scrabble around and find fault with the opposition, if that's how you think of them. If you haven't got an Xbox, what's it matter to you what the Xbox does? If you haven't got a PlayStation, what's it matter to you what the PlayStation does? Really? What's it matter? If you've got a PlayStation, play it, enjoy it. It's a good system. If you've got an Xbox, play it, enjoy it. It's a good system. And stop all this crap. Really? Come on. Dolby Atmos is good, but it can be better. Let's go with PlayStation 3D audio because you don't have to pay for it. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, the mind boggles. Honestly, the mind boggles. Anyway, look, it's getting late. I'm going to finish this one and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.